In this lesson, we are going to learn about the Expansion Panel widget. Expansion Panel is commonly used for summarizing large information on the screen. It hides most of the information and only leaves its headers to save space from our limited screen space. We will use the color property for decoration. Also, we will set up the callback function for our panel to control what happens when each panel is tapped. Lastly, we will use the animation duration property to change collapse and drop down animation speed. Now, let's get started. Today we are going to learn about the Expansion Panel widget. Expansion Panel is a widget often used when we want to see detailed information when we press on a widget. One thing to keep in mind when creating an expansion panel is that the widget size will change as it grows, so we need to wrap it in a flexible widget like column. We can also create an expansion panel in an expansion panel. So let's look at this example code. First, we are going to generate a list variable expanded as a bold type in the state class entry. Use the list option field to set the number of lists to 2 and the initial value to false. Generate a bold type variable sub-expanded, which is used in the expansion panel, and initialize it false. Now create an expansion panel list widget in the body property of the scaffold structure. Then, set the basic properties of the expansion panel. Expanded header padding is a property that adjusts the padding of the panel header. Expanding the panel will adjust the size of the header accordingly. Use edgeinsets.all as the value appropriately. Divider color is a property that specifies the divider color between panels from the expansion panel list. Set the color to gray. The expansion callback property is an essential feature for changing the panel state. It has panel index and is expanded as parameters. It helps us to convert the bold type expanded to true or false through setState. Since there are multiple expansion panels in the form of the list, the index is used to indicate the number of the panel. Now take a look at the children of the expansion panel list. Of course, it is all made up of panels and subpanels. Generate the first expansion panel. Set the title property of list tile to a text widget with expansion panel 1. It is a value set in header builder and can be built with different contents in the panel's header. It has context and is expanded as parameters and list tile as the return value. Set the body to list tile as well. This tile will open down when we tap on the header. Set the title property to a text widget with a brief description. IsExpanded is a property that specifies a variable that distinguishes whether the current panel is expanded. Since this is the first panel, set it to expanded 0. CanTap on header is a property that selects whether the panel can be expanded by pressing the header. Set the value to true. Do you know the difference between true and false ones while running the code? When set to true and run, we can tap anywhere in the header to expand the panel. Let's try running the code. As you can see, there are 2 expansion panels, and CanTap on the header is true, so if we press on the header, it expands. But if we change this to false and try to run it, it does not expand when we press on the header, but it will only expand when we press this button. And then create a second expansion panel. This time, let us create another expansion panel inside the expansion panel. Set up a header builder that returns a list tile as above. For this body, set expansion panel list widget instead of list tile. Animation duration means the duration of the animation while the panel is expanding. Note that duration enters the time in milliseconds. Set the value to 3000 so that the animation works for 3 seconds. This will create children of the sub-expansion panel. This code only has one panel, but since it is a list, we can create more if we want. Set the header builder to return a list tile in the expansion panel. And we are going to set the body as list tile as well. If we set expansion panel list again here, a sub panel of the sub will be created. Set the title to a text widget representing sub expansion tile. Set the trailing value to icons.delete to set the icon in the shape of a trash can. IsExpanded uses the declared variable subExpanded. Everything else is the same with other panels for expansion callback, but only the variable name should use subExpanded for the current subpanel. Set the body property and the IsExpanded property of the second expansion panel to expanded 1. Now let's try running the code. Let's take a look at this result. 2 expansion panels have been created. The second panel even has a sub-expansion panel. So if we press on this panel, you can see that it expands to another list tile, and it takes 3 seconds to expand this. So if we change this milliseconds, then the duration will get shorter. Now try to practice this for yourself in Dartpad or locally and see the different results and outputs. Thank you for watching, see you in the next video.